The first time we lost, the Indian team was very good, and we'd lost. We didn't have Steve Smith or Dave Warner in that first series, so for me that was kind of like, okay. The last series though, I mean, we had Dave Warner and Smith, and we had our bowling lineup, and India kept getting injured and losing players, and they still ended up winning. That was a big one, and in respect to India, that was a really good series in terms of just watching it, and India deserved the credit. They were the better team throughout the series, particularly at the end, so they deserved to win. So it is weird to think about India beating Australia in Australia, but hopefully we can rectify that this time. We're world number one, world number two teams really over the last 2 years. We were there at the last World Test Championship together. The rivalry has always been huge. We take it as a sign of respect, and I know it, that Indians love beating Australia in any sort of form of cricket. And the tradition that Australia's had over so many years as being one of the dominating teams of world cricket has staked that reputation. I think, yeah, for Indians it's always been the case to beat Australia, and more recently, since the rise of India and IPL and everything else that happened, it's the same way with Australia against India, and particularly since India's beaten Australia in Australia the last 2 times they've come out to the Border Gavaskar Trophy.
I've always said throughout my whole career I want to compete against the best, and you look through the whole Indian lineup, the whole squad, there's absolute superstars everywhere you look, and you want to compete and challenge yourself against them. And I know Ash and I obviously debuted around similar times, and we've competed against each other in a number of series now, and between me and Ash, I've got nothing but respect for Ash. I feel like I love watching him bowl. He's an absolute master in the craft of off-spin bowling, and it's been an absolute privilege to play against him and learn off him. Pretty exciting. It's obviously a massive summer for us out here, so can't wait to have the Indian guys out here.
India, love the game, and they're at the top of their game at the moment. And yeah, I mean, the energy when these two teams play together is always high. There's always high anticipation. These two teams, it doesn't matter where we're playing, if it's in England, if it's in Australia, if it's in India, it's always a tough contest. India's fast bowling quartet is very good. Which is really what brings them in Australian conditions, make them such a tough team to beat in Australian conditions. Hopefully this summer we can turn the tables on India and
very excited. It's going to be a great series. India have been playing outstanding cricket. We've been playing really good cricket the last couple of years. We haven't beaten India in the last 2 times they've come out here. So obviously got a terrific side, very well balanced team, all bases covered. So they've played really good cricket out here. They've played good cricket when we've been over in India as well, where we know they're very, very difficult to beat. So it's going to be a big summer. It's going to be an exciting one. And
Australian cricket, you've got the Ashes, and then you've got the Border Gavaskar Trophy in there. I mean, there's a long history in the Ashes, but that Border Gavaskar rivalry, if you like, has just grown from strength to strength over each series, and now we see it as a 5 Test match series, which is fantastic for not only the rivalry but for the Test series as well. Whether it's the calibre of player, the calibre of matches that we see as fans and as cricketers as well, it just continues to grow strength on strength each series, and now India obviously winning a number of series in a row, it's created even a bigger rivalry between the 2 countries. I mean, both teams are well known to one another. We play each other very often across the formats. So I'm sure it'll be another exciting series, but one I think that both experienced sides will showcase some fantastic.
2 series here in Australia, we haven't been successful, so it's been a long time. Hopefully time to make amends. We've played them plenty of times where they've beaten us, but we've also had plenty of wins against them as well, where we'll draw confidence off. The most recent Test match was obviously the World Test Championship in neutral conditions, and we got up in that Test match. So yeah, it's played India a lot. It's always fiercely competitive. It always feels like it's 50-50. I am 10 out of 10 excited for the Border Gavaskar.
Virat Kohli's Australian in thoughts and action. The way he gets into a battle, the way he gets into the challenge and tries to get on top of the opposition. He's probably the most Australian of the Indian players, I'd say. There's no real, I need to beat him or anything like that. It's just about going out and playing and trying to score as many runs as they can and helping Australia have success, and that's what it's all about. We get on quite well, share messages every now and again, and look, he's a great guy and obviously a wonderful player. So yeah, it's going to be nice to come up against him.
Virat and Rishabh Pant, they're probably going to be three really big ones, but you still got Jaiswal, you still got Shubman Gill and Jadeja, and who else will come out at number 5, I'm not sure. But it's pretty amazing lineup that they got, so it's going to be a massive challenge, as I said. But I feel like as a bowling group, if we're good enough for long periods of time, then hopefully we can challenge.
I enjoy my battles with Virat Kohli, just because we've played a lot of cricket against one another. I always have some good battles. I've managed to get him out once or twice, and he's no doubt scored a fair few runs against me. So it's always a good contest and one we both enjoy.
He's very strategic. He always has a plan. He always tries to figure out. He tries to get ahead of the game, one step ahead of the game, which I respect. I respect his cricketing now, so I respect his cricketing brain. So it's always cool to see and always cool to play against.
I enjoy battles with Mohammad Siraj for many reasons. We actually were at the academy in 2015-16, and he was working with the MRF academy, and we played against each other. So that's when I first met him, and to see his career go in that direction. He's got great passion, great energy and great love for the game. So yeah, it's been nice to almost our careers moving together, you know, from such different experiences.
Indian cricketer has the potential to be the next generation superstar.
Next generation superstar, I think
Jaiswal could be a generational superstar.
Jaiswal's probably the next big superstar, I think.
I think Shubman Gill has the potential to become a superstar.
Well, I think Jaiswal's the next cricket superstar to come from India.
Jaiswal.
I believe Jaiswal will be the next generation superstar.
Jaiswal, I think, looks like a proper cricketer for all formats. I mean, him and Shubman are very good.
Shubman Gill, I think. I think he just needs more. As his career goes on, he's ridiculous. Some of the innings I've seen, he makes bowling look slow. Plays off the front and back foot well, plays spin well. Shubman's going to be.
Focus around the newer players that we haven't had, haven't played Test cricket against much. The Jaiswals, maybe even Shubman Gill, we've only played a few times. So we've played against Virat and Rawat and guys like that for years. So you sort of know. We know what to do. The plan doesn't really change all that often. It's the basics. It's just doing them well and doing them for a long time. So yeah, we find that 9 out of 10 batsmen in Test cricket comes back to that plan A. You obviously adapt to the conditions and change throughout the day or the innings, and if conditions change. But a lot of the time, it just comes back to being able to execute.
Bowler, regardless of when I face him, whether it's brand new, slightly older, or even the old ball, he's got great skills with that as well. So he's a great bowler, arguably the best fast bowler over the 3 formats. So it's going to be a challenge as always.